What's up everybody, TC coming at you with another video, and today we are continuing the Japan series. I've talked about dance before, but of course what got me interested in Japan in the first place was anime, and today's topic, manga. So I've started a mini series here talking about my favorite mangas. Today I'm going to talk about my number one manga, but before that you might be wondering, TC, what's up with your pink hair? Yes, I do have some nice anime hair today. I was about to cut it. And, well, you know me. When I cut my hair, sometimes I want to do something interesting or funny. I've done a mullet in the past when I was in high school. I've done the Jedi Padawan braid, which I actually kept for a couple weeks because I thought it was cool. But I don't know if anyone else thought it was cool. But that's okay. I don't care. This time around, I was like, what can I do? I kind of got the idea of changing my hair color, which I've never really done. As you can see, I've bleached it before for my Ichigo cosplay from Bleach back about 15 years ago. But I never really put color into it. So last Sunday, we decided to color it, and it turned out pink. I asked my students on Friday, my 5 classes that I had, what color should I color my hair? And they, of course, chose pink, which, you know what, I'm kind of happy with it. The color we chose ended up being kind of cool. Today I have my headband. I'm probably going to be cutting it in a couple of days, but I figured I'd do at least one video with it. So that's why I have pink hair. I hope you enjoy it. Let's jump into the manga conversation. So I got into manga when I was about in 10th grade, 11th grade, something like that. Because I watched a few anime. I would rent anime from Rogers back when you would rent stuff at video stores back in the year pretty much 2000, 2001. Anime back then was kind of hipster, and I learned that, and you might not know this, but manga is usually the original piece of art, and anime is produced once the manga is popular to, first of all, promote the manga even more in Japan to make it more popular, and of course to sell a bunch of toys. So usually the anime is not the main piece of art when you're looking at these famous animes. It's usually more focused on the manga. It's just here in the West, in Canada and US, we know anime a bit more than manga because that's sort of what we've seen on TV since we're young. Even with Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon and all those were all originally manga, and the anime is mostly there to promote that. So today I'm going to talk to you about my favorite manga. It's not an anime. Maybe I'm going to talk a bit more about anime in the next video if you want my opinion on those. But today we're talking about, we're talking about Vagabond. Okay, so Vagabond is actually my number one favorite manga. It's not that popular. Again, there's no anime, so people don't really know about it. Okay, as you can see behind me, the Vagabonds are those white books there. I have a bunch of other manga, and honestly, I'm so glad that I get to kind of showcase them, like just in my room, my computer room here, also on my videos. And they were like sitting in boxes for like 10 years basically when I moved to Japan, and then I moved to Alberta, so I didn't have a place to put them, so I'm really glad that I have a way to show them. You can also see my Rurouni Kenshin display there, and my Rurouni Kenshin wall scroll over there that kind of complements it. But I kind of rotate them around, but I figured for this video I'd have those up. So Vagabond, let's talk about that one today. What makes Vagabond great? First of all, the characters are awesome, the art is awesome, and it is more of a mature manga. It does say explicit content, so if you are a younger viewer, then I recommend you might wait to read this one if you have the chance. It's about sword fighting in the old times, about 400 years ago. The setting is in about the 1600s, and it's about Miyamoto Musashi. Okay, so there's lots of sword fighting. There is some nudity, but it's not like it is tasteful. It's not anything that you might see in other kinds, let's say. So I do have to put that warning there first if I'm going to promote this manga. But everything else is very interesting. So the main character is super well done. He's kind of like a beast when he's young. I'm going to try not to spoil it, but generally speaking, like you start the story when he's quite young, like a teenager, and he's got like some anger issues, and he wants to fight. He wants to fight in the wars, and he doesn't really have any training. His dad is like a master swordsman, but his dad kind of shunned him his whole life, so he's got some daddy issues there. So he kind of goes off on his own to figure out what it means to be a sword fighter, okay? And he's not a samurai. He doesn't, like, a samurai is someone that kind of works for the government. It's a bit like the police back then, in a very simple way. It's much more complicated than that. So he's more of a ronin. A ronin is a sword fighter, but he just fights for himself, and he's not under any lord. So he's just kind of doing his own thing. So that's why it's named Vagabond, is the name of the manga, because that's kind of what he is throughout his whole life. And you kind of see him grow older, and he meets a lot of people. He gets interesting situations, and you kind of see him grow more mature, and you see his whole thought process behind fighting people and what it means to kill people and stuff like that, and the questions that arise 400 years ago when you would be this kind of swordsman. And unfortunately, the manga is not finished yet. It's been on hold for a couple of years now. I don't know if it'll ever be finished, which is very disappointing. Even if it never gets finished, I still have to recommend this manga because it's very incredible. The artist does such a good job drawing everything. He even has like a sub artist to do like the kind of like the filler job of drawing like the backgrounds and stuff like that, whereas his job is a bit more of the characters and stuff. So it's extremely beautiful. The story's awesome. The fighting is awesome. And the characters are awesome. They even introduce like a secondary protagonist at one point, and they give him like 7 full books to kind of flesh him out. He's a deaf character, so he can't hear. So it's like kind of the interesting side of having a kind of disability, but still wanting to be a warrior and fight with the sword. So number 1 manga, Vagabond. I don't think I'll ever read a better manga than that. I really hope that they finish it. So that we can see the conclusion, the epic conclusion I expect it to be. So yeah, that's my number 1. For the next video, we're gonna jump into number 2 and see a bit more of what got me into manga in the first place, because Vagabond is something that I caught onto a bit later when I got into manga, maybe a year or 2 into my anime watching spree and stuff like that. So we'll go back more into those, because my top 5 definitely includes some of the older ones that I watched first that had a big impact on me, including the one that you can see right there behind me. But we'll talk about that next time. So if you enjoyed this video, smash that like, or at least come see the next one, so that we can share. Definitely comment if you have your favorite mangas, or if you've ever read Vagabond and you want to say something about it. That'd be awesome. I'd love to have a conversation about it. So yeah, that's it for today. Have a good day, a good night, and peace out.